The sky tore open. Jagged rifts, glowing with ethereal light, scarred the heavens. They appeared without warning, spitting out creatures of nightmare. The world was no longer the one humanity knew. It was a battleground. Cities became war zones. Once familiar streets transformed into treacherous landscapes. Fear became the air everyone breathed. The world watched, horrified, as reality itself unraveled. From the chaos, heroes emerged. Ordinary people, touched by the strange energies of the portals, found themselves changed. They discovered within them the power to combat the monstrous invaders. Some controlled fire, others commanded the wind. Telekinesis, healing, even shape-shifting. These abilities manifested in the lucky few. They became known as the Awakened, a beacon of hope in a world teetering on the brink. Sin Wachin watched it all unfold with a growing sense of dread. The portals terrified him, yes, but it was the awakening that truly unsettled him. He felt nothing. No surge of power, no tingling in his fingertips, no whispers of magic. He was ordinary, utterly, frustratingly ordinary. In a world where everyone seemed to be developing extraordinary abilities, Sin remained unchanged. He was a blank page in a book filled with fantastical tales. The creatures that emerged from the portals were unlike anything anyone had ever seen. Grotesque, misshapen things with fangs like shards of glass and eyes that burned with malevolent intelligence. They rampaged, driven by an insatiable hunger for destruction. These weren't mindless beasts. They were cunning, ruthless, and utterly alien. They seemed to revel in the terror they inflicted, their laughter echoing through the shattered remains of once great cities. Humanity, for the first time in millennia, faced an enemy it might not be able to defeat. Section 5. A world of disparity. The Awakened, though powerful, were outnumbered. They fought bravely, pushing back against the tide of monsters, but the strain was beginning to show. The world divided. Those with powers were elevated, their every need catered to. Training facilities were erected. Resources poured into understanding and amplifying their abilities. Those without, like Sin, were left behind. They were the forgotten ones, living in the shadow of the portals, struggling to survive in a world that no longer had a place for them. Resentment festered, a bitter undercurrent in a world already drowning in fear. Sin felt the sting of his powerlessness every single day. He watched as families were torn apart, as friends discovered abilities he could only dream of. He longed to fight back, to stand shoulder to shoulder with the Awakened and protect his home. But he was just Sin, ordinary Sin. He had no fire to wield, no wind to command. He was a man surrounded by gods, and the sight of his own reflection filled him with a quiet, gnawing despair. One day, while scavenging for supplies in the ruins of a library, Sin stumbled upon a dusty, leather-bound book. It was filled with diagrams and equations, with words like frequency and resonance that meant nothing to him. But on the cover, etched in faded gold, was a single word: portals. This, he realized, was not a book about magic. It was a book about science. A way to understand the portals, not through mystical energies, but through the cold, hard logic of physics. It was a path, perhaps the only path, for someone like him to make a difference. Sin threw himself into his studies. He spent countless hours deciphering the book's cryptic language, teaching himself concepts he'd never even dreamt of. He was no scientist, but he was driven by a desperate hope. The hope that even an ordinary man could find a way to fight back against the extraordinary. His knowledge grew. He began to see patterns in the portal's appearance, to understand the ebb and flow of their energy. He wasn't just Sin anymore. He was Sin Wachin, the portalographer. He had found his strength, not in magic, but in the power of knowledge and the unwavering tenacity of the human spirit. The world may have been overrun with magic, but Sin Wachin proved that true courage didn't come from supernatural abilities. It came from facing impossible odds with unwavering resolve, from finding your strength in the face of overwhelming weakness. It came from being ordinary in a world obsessed with the extraordinary and still choosing to stand against the darkness. Sin's journey was a testament to the potential that lies dormant within us all. He was a beacon of hope in a world teetering on the brink, a reminder that even without magic, even without powers, we can still be heroes. We can still fight back. We can still choose to be brave.